It's day 400. I'm going to change the bearing. Day 400, can you believe? Day 400. I'm going to change this bearing on this disc. The rollers off the discs. We got them the other week. We had to order them especially off Amazon because they're an Amazon part only, which was a bit of a shame because they obviously charge Amazon price. And it's not cheap Amazon off the internet, it's an Amazon from Germany. So put this in and race off, put the new bearings on and put the rollers back on and the discs are serviceable again. And we've also got some new bearings for some of the discs that are wobbling about as well, so we'll try and get on with them. Although a very handy tool, a cordless 9-inch grinder, it doesn't half-eat batteries. I've cut that little bit off the top, but I've not quite gone deep enough at the back, so I'm just going to grind it a little bit deeper now because it's seized on the shaft, and then hopefully it'll like open out and slide off easy enough, and I'll cut some notches in the side to prise it off with a crowbar. But I can't get the bearing pullers behind it, there's not a big enough lip. On the Wackanooson, putting some fertiliser in Joe's spreader. It's ideal because it's so small and manoeuvrable for getting out of the shed. Up in the basket now on the top of the shed. Just taking out one of the last fans off the pedestals. Just going to unplug this now and then tie this rope up so we've got it for next time we put the fans back in. Slice it all away now, cut a little slit in the side. Hopefully I can get this crowbar in now into there and then prise it off. Still stuck, so I'm just going to chop a bit more out the top of it. So I've done the bottom and the top, then it'll just fall in 2 halves. 5 minutes later. There we go. At least it's alright, the shaft anyway. The circlip was a bit munched. This is like a spring clip here that goes on the end to hold the bearing on. And then we have a tray of them. There's not many left, but luckily I've managed to find 2 that we need. I might have to order a new one of them trays. This is the bearing on the other side. It's not gone, but we were going to change it. But now they're £190 and we can't buy the insert for the middle. I've just flicked the oil seals off. And I'm going to fill it with grease a bit more and then put it back together and hopefully it should last. It isn't, like I say, it isn't gone. It's just felt it's worth greasing while it's in bits. It's ideal for these little jobs, that thing. Just lifting this crumbler roller, packer roller back into here now. Stop a bit on that now. Go on a little bit. All the way there, it's catching the discs on the forks. Right there. Got it half back together, but we've decided that we're going to change these plastic things that are knackered there. And at the end here, where someone set the bonfire too close to it years ago and melted it, we're going to change them rubber rings at the same time. So although we've put that back together, we're going to take it back apart again when we get the availability on the parts. But then it's right for summer, so we may as well do it now when we're not busy. Quick roundabout update. Cabins still on the road. Massive compound, nothing in it. Side of them. A lot of people walking around with their luminous coats on, looking like they know what they're doing. We've got some pipe work arrived now, and a bit of gravel to do with the drains, and a concrete sewer ring. And it looks like they've had 100 ton of stone delivered. A lot of progress in the last sort of month, I suppose. Sam's over there at the moment, buffing that ground up so that it's not a fire hazard. Don't think we'll be able to see him though, to be honest. No, he's the other side of the hill. Look at that wheat, brilliant. I'm putting a fungicide on it now. I've been waiting as long as possible before I should do it so that I can give me more days in the future. If you imagine this fungicide I'm putting on now might last 3 to 4 weeks. Well, if I've gained a week with this spray and then I've gained a week with the next one, then I might not have to go 3 times this season. So it makes it cheaper to grow, and it means that we're not wasting chemical. But we've got a little bit of rain forecast. Not a lot, but if the weather does deteriorate and we start getting damper weather, any little bits of disease that might be festering the bottom of the plants will start to show their head. So we had a little bit of yellow rust we found in a few fields last week. We haven't in this one really, but there's now the tiniest glimpse that it might be coming. So we're going to just put something cheap on fungicide wise now, just to protect it for anything that might come. And then if we get this bad weather, or hopefully we do, then it'll protect it and keep it green and keep it growing, and then it'll make use of what water we do get rather than dying off. But if we get a lot of sunlight and a lot of water, we should get a good yield. Giving up fixing the disc for today because we decided to get some more parts for it and go right through them so that we know that they're back on. We had 2 bearings gone which made them unusable. We've changed them and we're going to put it back together. We thought, you know what, while it's halfway apart, we'll carry on and we'll sort the packer roller out on it, sort any bearings out that are a bit dodgy on some of the discs, get it all done, and then it's mint. So at harvest then it's just straight in with that if we need any stale seed beds or anything like that. Jumping off the sprayer, you see that light green patch and that dark green patch, bit of a line here. That's where this has had fertiliser, and that bit, oops, right, that's had fertiliser where it's dark green, and this where it's lighter green hasn't. You can see when I pull up with the sprayer to the hedge, it misses that little bit. It's a bit of a funny shape, this corner, and I can't back into it, so I always pull onto the track, but you can see that little bit's missed. Let's go and have a look what the new track looks like, the new sleepers. So we've now got a new deck over the railway. It's obviously a lot better, bit of rubber, nice mats, but the scabby sleepers at the beginning here and the scabby sleepers over there are still there, so they'll obviously go knackered as well. So you think they'd have done the whole lot, but that's obviously a big job. We've waited years for that as well. Doesn't flex though like the old one. Just finished this field of wheat now at Rain Hill. Next stop by the river, so a good 30-minute drive now. The oilseed rape in front looks a picture at the top of the hill, but at the bottom of the hill it's still a bit green because the pigeons have been eating it. Story of my life. And the headlands are a bit green as well. It's not really been liking the late frost as well, it's kind of like stalled growing recently. Quick sheep update. Getting big now. Feeding time at the zoo. Where's number 1? Because that'll be the biggest, won't it? Oh, there's number 2. Size of them now. How old are they now?
First week of March.
8 weeks. Bit of an update on the drill as well. I was told that it was arriving in the country on the 26th of April, which is today. Apparently now it's not arriving until the 6th of May, so that's, I don't know, what, 4, 5, another couple of weeks now, which is a bit of a shame, but we kind of have finished drilling apart from patching on that barley, and then we've obviously got the sunflowers to sow. It would have been nice for it to arrive so that we could put some corn in with it, but we'll see when it arrives. I have got some spring barley seed left, and I'm thinking of stitching some spring barley into some growing winter barley to see if we can harvest the winter barley, and then the spring barley will shoot up from below it, and then we can harvest that and try and get 2 harvests in 1 year. So we'll try that, but it just depends on how tall the winter barley is when the drill arrives and how much mess we make going through it. I think if we'd have gone through it within the next week or 2, we wouldn't have made any mess, and it would have just stayed in the bottom shallow, little seedlings until we cut the top. But who knows? I don't know anyone that's done it before, but we're going to try anyway. So it's my attempt at summer barley, but pushing the boundary even more by drilling it before we've even harvested the first crop. And with the new drill that's coming, because the row spacing is so wide, and it's so wide, we do very minimal damage driving through the barley at the same time. That's the plan anyway. Yesterday's quiz question was the Beaufort scale in the telehandler in the Merlot. Loads of people got it right. It was probably too easy. Basically, it tells you at what speed of wind you can do certain tasks, i.e. if you're lifting something heavy high up and it's really windy, you don't want to be doing it because you've got a lot of leverage on that boom when it's up there and the wind could blow it over. I don't know if anyone's ever tried carrying a piece of plywood across a yard on a still day, but even on a still day you know which way the wind's blowing. So it's the same with the telehandler. You've got it up there, you've got it full of bales. It's a big mast that can catch the wind, so that's why you can't use them when it's too high a wind. Getting near the own lift capacity. It's a big word for Monday, isn't it? Lots of people ask whereabouts do I farm? Well, that is the River Mersey, and over the other side of it is Chester and Stanlow Oil Refinery, and that's a big footpath down the middle of the side of the river. Loads of people walking on it, which is good in one sense because it it means that the pigeons haven't eaten the oilseed rape in that corner, so that's now going yellow. The bit nearest to us floods, that's why that's bare, because when the tides are high it can go on this field here. But then the far end of the field over there is not in flower yet, but someone's casually strolling through it. It doesn't really get a frost here because it's close to the river, but it has definitely held it back. How does this branch make it into the middle of this field? I presume it's off that dead tree there. I think kids must have carried it and just like got bored, or a big dog just left it. Anyway, I don't want it in the combine, so I'm going to try and stick it on the side of the sprayer and get it to the edge of the field out of the way. It's a bit of a beast though. Albino barley update. It's now got 2 leaves, so it's still growing. This was the bit that was too wet when we drilled it. Look at all the sand that's washed down to the bottom of the hill there when this field was flooding in January. This is the flood when we rescued the guy with the fast track. So I think it's one of the most watched videos that from January. Adam's here now. Sam sumoed this before, and then Adam's drilled it with barley, the bit that we left, because we want to get some cover on it so it doesn't lie wet. But Sam had forgotten a bit at the top there, so Adam's just going to go and do it now, and then that's all done then. So we were just patching up. This is where some barley's been spilt when we filled the drill, so it's all thick like a carpet. No one can tell me why that barley is white and how it's still managing to grow with no chlorophyll in its leaves, and it's now got 2 leaves. But if anyone knows, let me know. Because I'm still in the field spraying, it's going to get edited from the field spraying. So the quiz question today is going to be, it's day 400. Has anyone watched all of them right the way through? Or if they haven't, how many do you think you have watched? I'd be interested to know, so leave a comment below. I don't know how to say that without rhyming, it just happens every time. Anyway, I'm spraying this field a week now again with fungicide, so I'm going to get this finished. I'm going to edit it. It's quite a long straight field, so I'll edit it while I'm on the move. Tomorrow's day 401. Actually, as well, if it's your first one you've ever watched, I'd be interested for you to leave a comment. And that doesn't mean if it's within the first 12 hours. Even if you're watching this in 3 months' time, if it's the first time you've watched it, leave a comment, because I just want to see what people watch and when. I'm just kind of like trying to get my head around how YouTube works. Don't forget, if you've got any outros, send them over on Instagram, AgriContract on Instagram. Send them over, I'll put them on. Today's one is from Tom. Here it is, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe, click like or subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.